2, 3.
Welcome back to my channel, and we are now in the Mercedes EQS, which is, as you see, the final answer at the moment in the EV world for luxury and comfort. As you see, lots of space in the rear seats, everything quite comfortable, cozy, yeah, a lot of space and a lot of modern technology. But I'm sitting on the wrong seat, so I will come to the front now. Here we go. And as you might see, this is the very wide widescreen in my first video about the EQS when I was at the dealership. There we go. Very nice surround picture here, and see the back. Somebody's coming. Alert! Just have to only lift the foot off the brake pedal. The gear shift is here on the steering wheel. This is showing we are on D. Usually the car has just a normal touchpad, but this is the widescreen, which will cost only 10,000 euros extra. And just to find out how comfortable this car is, we will go on the bumpy road now.
Jetzt rechts abbiegen in die Pescherstraße und danach sofort halb rechts abbiegen.
Hey Mercedes,
Was kann ich für dich tun?
Navigation beenden.
Okay, ich beende die Zielführung.
Danke. Usually the MBUX system in the old EQC was quite rubbish. Every time you said Mercedes, it just reacted. Now it got more clever. This is the EQS 45 Plus. So it is the long range model with a usable battery capacity of 108 kilowatts per hour. So it is quite massive. On the other side, the electric motors of Mercedes got very efficient, which means on a car test they showed on TV, a test driver was driving this car on the motorway through Germany, and with an average speed of 104 kilometers, which is about 64 miles per hour. This car had a total range of, he was driving about 628 kilometers on one charge and had 48 kilometers left. So this thing is really economic. And talking about economic, this car with this equipment will cost about 145,000. Usually the EQS 45 is available for 106,000 euros, including 19% tax. And the smallest version, the EQ 35, with a range of 620 something kilometers. Oh, for God's sake, too much traffic. as a price starts with a sticker price of 98,000. So it's not on a budget, but in the EV world, this is the last word of luxury and comfort. For now, at the moment. Because some say that Rolls-Royce will bring a all-electric roller in 2023. So for the next 2 years, this will be the most comfortable electric vehicle, I guess. Just the screen for the navigation is really wide, and you have a lot of functions and things to learn. Information, radio, telephone, apps, store. It has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, of course. Some adjustments, light, ambient light. You can also use all these gimmicks or change these gimmicks with the Mercedes voice control system. This is the most interesting thing at the moment. We are using 30.9 kilowatts per hour because we are just standing here doing absolutely nothing. The average energy consumption of the EQ45 is by WLTP is about 16.2, 16.1 kilowatts per hour on 100 kilometers. And the EQ35 or EQS 35, so to be correct, is has an energy consumption of 16.8 kilowatts per hour. And there is also a more or less performance model with energy consumption of over 18 kilowatts per hour on 100 kilometers. But as you see, if you know the normal smaller cars like Nissan Leaf or Kia e-Niro, they do have most of almost a bit more energy consumption by WLTP. And this is a massive flagship with a minimum weight of 2,480 kilos. Now we are getting on the bumpy road. You just hear the bumps and the car will react a bit, but it's still quite comfy. It's not smooth as silk, but I guess at the moment it's the most comfortable car you can get. Or you buy a very old Citroën DS with a hydropneumatic suspension. This car has an air suspension. The build quality and the quality of the material is just, there is a bit of plastic, of course every car has a bit of plastic, but it doesn't make any squeaking noise like it does in the EQC. A bit of an artificial sound. The steering feels a bit artificial too, but it's direct but not too nervous. Still quite comfy, not totally unsporty. Didn't expect that in such a heavy S-Class. And the car has a four-wheel steering, which makes the car, makes you feel the car, just like 2 sizes smaller. So going around the corner with the four-wheel steering is, nothing you should be afraid of. In the car with the normal touchscreen, which is here in the middle, it has a LCD display here just for the speed, or there's nothing as wide or as big, or better said as good as that one. But this is also quite a waste of energy. At last, you, if you want to, should be supposed to turn it off. The range of the car right now is 471 kilometers. You can also have some charging options. By the way, charging from 10% to 80% is done in 31 minutes. And it can take a maximum charging power of 200 kilowatts. For example, the Porsche Taycan can take 270. On the other side, usually Audi e-tron, the normal Q55 or just other models usually can take about 150 kilowatts per hour. So we are going on the motorway to take the car where it belongs to, actually. This thing is really good for traveling. A lot of space in the boot anyway, but the boot isn't too high, which is not as good as possible. But at last there is some snuggle space. In the curves it's really stable, it's not like wonky, what you expect about a comfortable car. But this is just the magic that the air suspension will do. Top speed is 210 kilometers per hour. Good to know how fast you could go if there wasn't a speed limit, which is 120 now. And 100 now. Misery, misery. This car also has the optional head-up display, which my missus cannot see, but when you give me the camera, you might be able to see something. Not quite much, of course. As you see, at the moment, this is supposed to be the actual energy consumption. We're using that much of energy. Now I'm accelerating a bit. Goes up. I think with that big widescreen car is quite a bit more complicated than necessary. At the steering wheel you have one side are the buttons for the steering of this display in the middle. On the other side there's the control function for the display for the speedos. So if you are going to buy an EQS, you have to learn quite a lot about the functions. front display you also see something like actually in a combustion engine's car would be showing the RPM, but now it's showing the energy we're using at the moment. So when I push the foot down a bit, it's going up, and it's going here into recharge. So at the moment this car is quite very efficient. We will change that for a minute. Now we're having a speed of 130. Trying to keep it, I can't. And just by trusting this thing at a speed of 133, this car doesn't want to waste energy. But I'm not always pushing my foot down, otherwise it will be accelerating, accelerating, accelerating. The average energy consumption is now slowly going down as well. Will keep some minutes with a speed of 130 roundabout. This car is also on level 3 autonomous driving, 4 option of course. So in heavy traffic, when the road or the motorway is totally blocked, you can just let the car do the driving. When driving gets boring, wouldn't work completely on just this speed. Average energy consumption is dropping. Speed limit of 100 again. Some say that Germany has no speed limit on the motorway. These are fake news. Minimum 48% of the German motorways have a speed limit. And 30% are just blocked by slow people. got a bit darker now. I guess because of the tunnel. Energy consumption is dropping. The lane assist, when I go over the lane, it will make a just vibrating on the steering wheel, and this ambient light here on this side will turn red. So let's do it again. Here we go. Some engineers have been really in a playful mood. Speedo reminds me a bit in a Rolls Royce, because it's showing also this is not just the kilowatt hours as I see, this is the percent of power we are using. So at the moment we are using 10% roundabout. So at the moment we still have a range of 456 kilometers. Climate control is on, 22 degrees, it's on comfort, not on eco. Glider. With quite an efficient motor. So if you want to travel, or if you have a driver, because in the rear seats I guess the whole thing would be even more comfortable and less complicated, because you don't have to use all these monitors. So this is at the moment the top electric car to travel with. Just two things I have to complain about is on one side that display is quite good, but I guess I would like to have it more under the dashboard, because I guess when the sun is shining at an unfortunate angle, I will see more reflections than everything else. by the way, this whole display is covered with so-called Gorilla Glass, the one you know from the smartphone. And the other thing I have to complain about is the socket for the charging cable is in the rear, on the right side. Would have been better if it's in the front, much better. But the good thing is you don't have to charge it that often. The battery is very big and the energy consumption is not too high. And on that bombshell we will end the video for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. If you have some questions, don't be shy to ask. And have a nice day.